Good morning, everyone. This is Alvin with Two Seeds Incorporated, coming to you for our Monday Health Tips Talk. I don't know how many of you guys have experienced low back pain or been stuck in a bent over position while trying to reach for something off the ground. Like, I know firsthand how painful and debilitating it can be. I used to sleep many nights with my knees pulled up to my chest, laying on my back, hoping that I could just get comfortable enough for just a few minutes so my everything would calm down, I could lower my cortisol levels, and I could just sleep. For a period of time in my life, I probably had 2, 3, 4 hours of sleep many nights, hoping I would be able to just get back up and do it all over again if I could just get a little bit of sleep and a little bit of comfort out of that. Through all my research and study, I learned some really interesting facts of what your body can do and why you're able to get up and function every day, even when you are in pain, and why the pain seems to subside at times. So your body does some cool things, and it actually has mechanisms built into it to help us cope with excruciating pain, especially when experienced for a long period of time. It triggers what the body has, triggers something in the body called a neurotag, right? And these neurotags are pretty phenomenal. What they do is they basically trick the brain into thinking that you don't necessarily have as intense pain as what you really do, which is good and bad, right? Because when you don't know you're hurting, you can injure yourself, right? Which is what a lot of pain medications can do for you, right? They can ease the pain so you feel like you're 100% again, but you're not necessarily 100%. So if you basically can end up subjecting yourself to re-injury by not properly taking care of yourself, okay? So now those neurotags don't just affect just that pain in that area, right? And this should scare the heck out of a lot of people. So here's something interesting. We need to be firing on all cylinders and focused when we're doing things, right? When we're driving, when you're working, when we're doing whatever it is, right? We're playing sports, whatever. Now, these neurotags, they trick the body to think that we don't have this excessive amount of pain. But what also happens is there's a release of hormones. There's a release of certain chemicals within the body as well, right? Which is it's in direct relation with stress and stress hormones, right? Cortisol, we've all heard of that, right? They can cause foggy brain. They can cause a ton of things to, eventually lead to Alzheimer's and dementia and things like that. All right. So it can also shut the body down in ways where it goes into survival mode. Okay. So you're just operating just the bare minimum. Like, everything else has been shut down so that just to keep you alive, your body will do, and the brain will do certain things to make sure that you can just kind of truck along, right? Survive. That's it. So a little history about myself. I about 4 years ago, I broke my heel in 7 places. I have a couple of businesses. One of those is a general contracting roofing business where I work all over the country. So this one day, I'm up on a roof, and I'd gone by myself, which is generally a no-no for me, but I was in a hurry. I wasn't focused. I wasn't thinking about what was going on at the task at hand. Okay? Storm hit kind of all of a sudden. I should have been paying attention, of course. Got to a point where I had to get down from the roof immediately. I was in such a hurry when I put things up that I made another fatal mistake. I didn't tie my ladder off. So when I was coming down the roof, it was slippery. I slipped, skid down the roof, and it kicked the ladder down. So now my next option is to try to get myself back up on the roof and get underneath something to keep the hailstorm from wiping me out. So I made this split decision to get down off the roof and see if I could jump over the concrete where the ladder had landed down on the ground, jump over the concrete and try to roll out of it. Well, I landed on the ladder, broke my heel in 7 places, and the after effects of that, I could not run for about 2 years. I couldn't jump, definitely, for that time as well. Prior to that, I was a triathlete, and after that, everything kind of went away. When I broke my heel, my lower back was affected as well. Everything was out of whack at that point. So I went to the doctor, of course, to try to get something going on there. But I didn't know this. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that less than 1% of overall healthcare training is devoted to treating pain? I didn't know this, and it surprised me when I read it. And there's a huge gap between contemporary pain education and actual like treating and dealing with pain. So it's amazing to me. It just seems like everyone's focused on other things right now. So it kind of seems doom and gloom, right? But don't give up hope. So some of the things that I've done is try to increase my mobility, right? And it's done wonders for me. Amazing, amazing things. So your body has the ability to heal itself, which I've proven over the last 4 years. I've dealt with tremendous amounts of pain, but I didn't have the tools that I needed. So that's why I'm here today. I'm here to just give you a couple of tools, maybe fill your toolbox a little bit, 1 week at a time, and hopefully we can get on the same pace, and you guys can become part of a wonderful group of happy, healed, healthy, amazingly successful individuals. So every Monday, I'm going to shed a little light on some truly amazing things that your body can do with a little bit of natural help. All right? I'm going to teach you how to fill your cup a little bit. Teach you how to really expand out from being stuck in that mode of everyone telling you, well, this is just part of natural processes. You're just getting older. You're going to age. So how do we counteract the process? We do a couple things, right? We increase our mobility, okay? We change our diet, and we change our mindset. Now, all of those things combined are what will get us to actual, true success in health and success in life. So give me just a second. Let me break this down for you on something that will help you on a daily basis, okay? So we're going to get into exercise now, but it's going to be something that can really transform the connection between the lower and the upper body. All right. All right, guys. Now for the stretching and exercise portion of the video, that I wanted to give you a little bit of wisdom and maybe put some more tools in your toolbox. We're going to do a stretch that's going to activate a couple of muscles that are going to help with low back pain. They're going to release and tension at the same time. And what that does for your body, it builds mobility. Mobility leads to success in everyday movement. And when you can move well, you can think well, you can act well, okay? So we're going to talk about a couple different muscle groups. There's a muscle that runs down the inside of your pelvic region here and ties into the lower part of the back. That's called the psoas muscle group. Super important, probably one of the most important muscles in the body. Ties the upper part of the body to the lower part of the body, okay? The hip flexors, they tie the pelvic to the legs, okay? We're going to talk about the glutes, which are back here in the back. We're going to talk about a nerve called the sciatic nerve. Runs down the center of the glute in the back of your bottom. All right, so what can we do to stretch that muscle out and reactivate the psoas muscle? Okay, so you're going to stand with your feet shoulder width apart. So I'll turn sideways here so you can kind of see. Feet shoulder width apart. We're going to square up our body. Feet forward, chest high, and we're going to step forward one good step and step back a little bit here. So we never want the knee to pass in front of the toe when we do this exercise. If that's the case, you need to step a little bit further out. Then we're going to drop the hips straight down, keeping the shoulders square in line with the hips. The hips should be perpendicular to the feet because the feet are facing forward, the hips are sideways. Okay, drop that down. Okay, now we're going to add in a little bit of complication here, a slight twist. You're going to twist to the right. And breathe. Breathing is important. You're going to breathe into your tummy, your lower part of your tummy. I know this may sound a little strange to you guys, but it actually works. It's called somatic breathing. Breathe into your tummy. You'll feel your tummy go out. Breathe into your chest. Feel your chest go out. Breathe into your head. Feel your chest go up. Okay? And you're going to breathe that back out. You're going to go through that exercise about 10 times of breathing while you're standing in this position here. If you can't hold it the whole time, that's okay. Just remember the breathing is important. Keep the hips square, the shoulders forward, or the shoulders back rather, the chest forward. Everything in line. Posture is everything when you're doing any type of exercise, especially stretching. Okay? So you're going to do that repeat that about 10 times on either side. Okay? And just remember, it's just reverse on the other side. So what that's going to do is activate those muscle groups that have been stagnant, right? Especially if you're having low back pain. 90% of most low back pain come from deactivation of muscle groups. So when we reactivate those muscle groups, just a few short minutes a day, it's going to change everything about how you're successful in movement and you're successful in life, and it's going to start your day off well. So practice this by yourself. When you get great at it, practice it with other people, because pass down that wisdom. That's how we learn. Okay, the benefits of this exercise: elongation of the muscles, reactivation of the psoas muscle and the hip flexor and the lumbar. Okay, it's also going to stretch out the glutes. Okay, and you've probably, if any of you have had low back pain, you've experienced what people might call sciatica. Okay, well, active reactivation of those muscle groups can actually help relieve the tension and the pain and the binding around that nerve, which will actually reactivate the quadriceps, reactivate the hamstrings. These are all in your legs, okay? When those are reactivated, mobility increases by 100%. You probably felt a little bit of tension come off of the low back, and that a little bit of elongation actually helps keep that connection between the upper and the lower parts of the body. How often should you do this? It's pretty simple. Even if you did it for a minute and a half every day, twice a day, starting out, which it may not seem like very long, but I promise you, if you're stretching something for a minute and a half, it is difficult. And keep in mind, it's very, very important to breathe through this exercise. Try to breathe in to your lower abdomen. Breathe the breath into the lower abdomen. Try to breathe the breath into your chest, and try to breathe the breath into your head. When you practice this style of somatic breathing, that's what it's called, somatic breathing, it actually does some things as far as your chemistry within the body. Right? So it releases things and allows blood flow and energy to move throughout the system. So that's what we want to do. We want to create successful habits that lead to permanent change within your body. Okay? I hope this has helped you today. I hope we can find successes together and bring joy to everyone in our lives that we possibly can. That's my goal for my Monday Health Talks, and we'll see you again next Monday. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this, and bless you all, and have a wonderful day.